Thank you so much for having me. My name is Erica Xavier. I'm Assistant Director in the Financial Aid Office, and I'm here to talk to you about graduate student resources and financial aid. Okay, so we're just going to go over a couple general information stuff, applications, resources, some of the stuff that you have to decide, and then financial aid policies that you need to be aware of. So we're going to first start with the financial aid application. We have two different routes of applying for financial aid. One is specific for students who are DREAM eligible or AB 540. And then also we have the application that is for federal student aid, and that would be US citizens or eligible non-citizens. If you have questions about which one you should apply for, please feel free to reach out to us and we can help you navigate that decision. So, really, the financial aid process, the first thing you want to do is submit your application. That is the one thing that tells us that you're interested in financial aid and it starts you on the financial aid process. You want to make sure that after you submit that application, if we request any information from you, we want to make sure that you are submitting that timely, making sure that you're meeting any deadlines that we give you. And if you're meeting your deadlines, then we'll be able to process your aid faster. Okay, I know that resources was a very hot topic on the registration form, so we want to make sure to touch on resources that we have for you. Um, the, t the typical different types of financial aid programs are going to be grants, scholarships, and loans. Depending on the program that you're in, depends on your financial aid eligibility. So, grants are typically designated for undergraduate students, but there's also resources for students that are in a teaching credential program. And then there's state university grant for students who are stateside and not going through an EL program. There's also different specific grants through the different programs. For example, like the MBA program has a grant that's specific to their program. The next topic would be like scholarships. There's private scholarships that you would get from an outside agency, and then there's CSUSM specific scholarships. Loans for graduate students there's federal loans and there's the Dream loan for our California Dream application students. So typically as graduate students, you're going to be offered the federal student loans for FAFSA application. The unsubsidized loan does accrue interest upon disbursement. The interest rates and amounts are fixed by the federal government. So they determine how much you can borrow and they determine what the interest rates are. The interest will accrue upon disbursement, and you are not required to make payments, but you're welcome to. And payments will begin 6 months after you either graduate or drop to less than half-time status. The Dream application student loan is $4,000 maximum annually. It's fixed at the same amount as the federal student loans. Graduate plus loans for FAFSA filers, that is credit contingent. The unsubsidized loan is guaranteed. So kind of two different avenues and resources for FAFSA filers. External loans, or as we refer to as private alternative student loans, that would be through your private lender, so your bank or other specific federal student, or not federal, private alternative student loans. You would apply directly with them, meeting their eligibility criteria. They would send us the certification information. We would certify that you're a student with us, and we would process that for you. We generally recommend that you utilize your federal student loans before you take a look at those alternative loans. But ultimately it's up to you. And we would just recommend that you borrow responsibly and you look at the terms of those alternative student loans because they typically end up being different than federal student loans. So like I was saying before, there are program specific scholarships, fellowships, teaching associates, graduate assistants, tuition fee waivers. you would want to take a look and check in with your specific college, your specific graduate program, and see if those are available. They are coordinated typically through our office, but we are not typically the ones that select the students. So you would want to start with your program first. Like I mentioned before, College of Business Administration has specific funding programs for MBA students. There's the professional fee grant, tuition grants, scholarships, and again, check with your college and we will coordinate that for you. General scholarship. So our CSUSM has scholarships that are open to all students. Our scholarship application aligns with the general admission application. We open the scholarship in October and we generally close it the beginning of February. So you want to make sure that you apply for that in the fall, and students can be notified all the way through summer or even if additional funding becomes available throughout the year, but typically most are selected during the summer. If you're selected, you'll be emailed to notify you, but we do not notify students that are not selected. Some strategies for scholarships outside. We have some scholarship search engines listed on our CSUSM financial aid website. Some of those are such as like FastWeb, the San Diego Foundation. We have both search engines and a couple local foundations. Um, the outside scholarships are really the criteria is, it's up to them. They select it. So one of the strategies that I would recommend is take a look at what are they looking for? Is there a prompt for a written statement? Make sure you're answering and addressing the questions that they're asking or the core criteria of what the scholarship is. So just some tips. Uh, You want to take advantage of the scholarship databases, like I said, FastWeb, scholarships.com, U.S. Department of Labor's free scholarship search tool. These websites can help you find scholarships that match your background, interests, educational plans. Um, you want to explore community organizations such as like San Diego Foundation. And you can check with like entities that like the Rotary Club, Chamber of Commerce. If you are a member of a religious institution, check in with all those organizations because you never know if they have scholarships available. So this payment plans are more of a student financial services um, service. We are financial aid, so we give the money, and student financial services are the ones that take the money and apply it to your student account. So this would be a tip for your personal finances. We do have payment plans, and you can pick a plan that is best aligned with what your plan is, your educational plan. When you log into your My CSUSM account and you go to your student center, there is what's called a college financing plan. This is this is designed to help you take a look at what your estimated costs of attending are, what financial aid has been offered to you, and taking a look at what your basically your underlying costs are going to be. It's looking at your awards for the year, tuition, fees, housing, if you're planning on living on campus, or if you're planning on estimating rent or mortgage even. And then other educational expenses like books, supplies, personal expenses, transportation, just all things that you need to consider because college is more than just tuition and fees. It is also about supporting yourself through the academic year. So I want to talk a little bit about some financial aid policies because there's a lot of things that you should be aware of as you're a student because you basically have to keep up your end of the deal per se. So we award our students based on basically estimating you as a full-time student. So if and when your educational plans have changed, it could impact your financial aid. So to start on one of them, satisfactory academic progress, that is making sure that you're on your way to degree completion. So for graduate students, we have a minimum grade point average of 3.0. The PACE completion, you must complete at least 50% of your attempted units, and you must complete your program within 200% of its published length. So for example, if the published length of your program is 2 years, you must complete it within 200% of that. So you have a long time to complete it, but we want to make sure that you're keeping on track and tracking towards degree completion. If you begin a program and your financial aid is dispersed and you for whatever reason are required to withdraw from your classes, uh, your aid may have to be reduced. We are required by federal law to determine how much aid you have earned based on how long you have been attending. So if and when you need to decide, and take into consideration withdrawing from the semester, please be sure to speak with us so we can take a look at what your aid is and how it could impact you. Here is our contact information. We are available by phone, email, and we are happy to meet with you virtually. We found that our students really like to connect that way. It's easy and you can speak with us directly.